Kazum Productions and Kazum.com are bringing you the 2013 ITSF World Cup and World Championships from Nantes, France. Jim Stevens and Ben Mason back with you here in the final zone for a semi-final, Ben, in the men's singles event. And the winner of this one, of course, will advance to the finals, and a great matchup here in the final zone.
Yeah, two very different players, two very good players, two completely different styles, and I think this is going to be an absolute cracking match.
There you see on the right side of your screen the Garlando world champion in open singles from Austria. That's Kevin HUNDSTORFER. On the left side of your screen, the American, the world champion on the fireball table. That's Tom YORE. And of course, the two tables are Fireball and Garlando, two 2012 world champions battling to see who will be the first player to reach the men's singles final here at the 2012 ITSF Multi-Table World Championships, and we are underway. Tom YORE able to pass it through. He'll set it up in pull shot position. Did you get a chance to watch Tom shoot the pull? Kevin HUNDSTORFER also will shoot the pull shot on occasion, but generally a snake shooter. And a very, very talented player. There you see Tom YORE finding that hole down the middle. He leads 1-0.
Tom can hit all the holes very easily, but I would say the worst thing you could do is show in the middle for too long.
YORE leading 1-0 here in game number 1. It's best 3 out of 5. We'll open things up here on the fireball table, then move to HUNDSTORFER's home table, the Garlando. And he quickly executes down the middle. It's 1-1.
Yeah.
1-1 here in game number 1. HUNDSTORFER versus YORE. Looking at it again, HUNDSTORFER got it and quickly executed down the middle. Tom YORE, as we mentioned, the world champion on the fireball table in open singles, pro singles, and pro doubles this year. And that event held in Taoyuan City, Taiwan. And a full shot here by YORE again, finding that middle hole, it appeared. It's 2-1.
If you bait Tom YORE for the middle, he will hit it.
And he does.
Go.
Kevin HUNDSTORFER of Austria on the right side of your screen. And Kevin HUNDSTORFER was one of the world's great junior players 4 or 5 years ago and has really matured into an outstanding top professional player.
Yeah, he really is. For me, he's the best Garlando player in the world. I think he's got a bit to show yet on the other tables, so it'll be interesting to see how he develops.
So far has played pretty well, looks comfortable on this table. And oftentimes that's really the key, is which player is more comfortable on the opponent's home table.
Yeah.
We're going to play one game on Fireball, then another on Garlando, back to Fireball, back to Garlando if necessary, and then of course the 5th game divided up between the two tables. Still 2-1 in favor of Tom YORE. And stolen away here by HUNDSTORFER. That one spun back to her. He sets it up. And fires it home to the far side.
Looks to be a very strange roll on that ball.
Let's look at HUNDSTORFER and YORE as they battle to see who will reach the open singles final, the men's singles final here in 2013.
Go.
YORE's 5 bars has been so impressive so far. Let's see if he continues this streak.
And that really is the key to Tom's game. If he gets possessions, he is going to score a fair possession, a fair number of his possessions on the 3-row. And Tom has had a very good year.
Great catch.
Has played just the one international tournament so far during 2012 at least. And he won, as we say, 3 of the events. And strokes home the long pull shot here. Oh, Tom YORE back on top. He leads 3-2 on his home table, the fireball. Let's look at it again. He takes his time and really strokes that ball deep to that near corner.
Go.
3-2 lead for Tom YORE. And I think it's really key for YORE, if he's going to win this match and advance to the men's singles final, that he wins on his home table.
Yeah.
Because I don't know that he can beat Kevin HUNDSTORFER on the Garlando.
Yeah, he's got to win his two. He's got to win his 2 games on the fireball and hope and get to the 5th.
Shot down the middle, blocked up into the air and off the table. HUNDSTORFER will hunt it down and then put it back into play in his goal area. He trails just 3-2 here in this opening game. Watch this again as YORE puts it on goal with that pull kick up into the air. But the hole looked like it was close to being there. Tom YORE leading 4-2. And you see there as that one was stuffed back into the goal by YORE.
Go.
So Tom here is at 4-2, and that's the place he wants to be, really. As you say, he's got to dominate his own possession. He's got to dominate his own table.
And that shot attempt by HUNDSTORFER taken away by YORE.
You know what I'm going to say, Jim, don't you? Take your time, Kevin. If you want to score on Tom YORE on his table, you've got to take your time.
So YORE was able to make the stuff on that previous possession. And might have missed it. We were in a replay.
No, but there was another
we
man.
did get a chance to see it again. YORE very comfortable on his home table, as he should be. He is the world champion on fireball.
I thought a squeeze pass. Squeeze it out.
Tom regripping.
First time out.
Tom, of course, a former multi-table world champion in men's doubles 2 years ago here in Nantes, France, when he won with fellow American Brandon Moreland. And a 3-time member of Team USA's World Cup winning team. That quick effort to the near side by YORE, feeling, again, fairly confident. HUNDSTORFER. Kevin slices that one up the table, taken away by YORE. Tom with a chance to win game number 1 right here. As he sets it up, trying to stroke the long pull shot, taken away by HUNDSTORFER. HUNDSTORFER sends it up the table, stabs it towards the goal, then moves into the forward position, grabs the rebound. Quick shot attempt taken right back by the American YORE. Tom out of Tampa, Florida in the United States. And stroking that one home from goal, so Tom YORE comes out to win the opening game on his home table. He leads 1-0.
Great start from Tom, really aggressive, looked more settled of the two. I wonder if that's because of where Kevin was.
And watch this, from goal, cleanly down the middle.
I would think that was because Kevin was playing off his home table, and also he is playing against Tom YORE, who has a certain charisma on the table, and it does bring fear sometimes into the opponents. But it'll be interesting to see now how settled Kevin looks on his table. I'd argue, Jim, if he doesn't win this, Kevin goes out of the tournament here.
Well, it would be quite a feat, and no pun intended, for Tom YORE to defeat world champion Kevin HUNDSTORFER on his own table, the Garlando. Because as you said early on in this match, Kevin HUNDSTORFER is the best Garlando player in the world. And has proven it with, of course, a world championship earlier in the 2012 season in Salzburg, Austria. And YORE able to steal it away, opening up here in game number 2. Tom YORE, however, one of the most experienced multi-table players in the world, and has played a lot of big matches on this table as well, and shoots the pull shot very well on this table. It's 1-0. Tom, really the consummate professional, also one of the world's great officials, considered the best referee in the world. Looking at it again, YORE takes his time and then finds that deadly split hole.
Hammers that middle really well.
Go.
Kevin HUNDSTORFER putting it back into play and passing it along that near side. Now, of course, those of you who are not familiar with the Garlando table will notice that there are banked sidewalls. Those sidewalls are actually somewhat of a ramp on each side of the table, which makes for an interesting experience for those not used to it. HUNDSTORFER was able to capitalize here, finding that hole to the near corner as YORE left it just a little bit too long, Mace.
And those of you that have not seen the Garlando table much before will notice the goal looks very large, and that's because it is. It is an extremely large goal, and the men are very small.
It really is a very offensive table, and YORE's pass attempt rattles into the goal. It's 2-1.
It's definitely a shooter's table. Some of the great players you speak to, they say if you can make a couple of blocks a game, you should win on Garlando, because that's how easy it is to score.
And you saw there the pass attempt hit off 2 men and dropped into the goal against HUNDSTORFER, and YORE up 2-1 on Kevin's home table.
Go.
Kevin HUNDSTORFER defeated Robert Atha, who we saw a little bit earlier on, and potentially could be an opponent for Kevin in his next match, the final, if he should reach there. But he defeated Rob Atha after Atha won the first 2 games of the open singles final in Salzburg, Austria last June. Really caught fire, and again, he is just so good on this table, which can be difficult to play on if you're not experienced with it.
I think it is, but Tom, I saw speaking to him yesterday, and he said he wanted to make the time to get used to the Garlando table because the American team are playing Garlando tables in the group, and so this obviously boded well for his singles game as well.
You're able to pick this one up. Tom playing a very economical game here on the Garlando table, and again finds the split hole. If Tom gets possessions, he's going to score on this table because the holes are just so big. As Ben Mason mentioned earlier on, the men's feet are narrow, the goal very large. And if you execute good quality shots, as Tom YORE has done so far, you're going to be successful, and Tom has been.
It's about 19.5, 20 centimeters wide, the Garlando goal.
HUNDSTORFER with a big shot here, able to stroke it home. It's now 3-2.
And when you consider that the American table, the Tornado, was 18.5 centimeters, but the men are double the size.
And you saw HUNDSTORFER find that hole down the middle.
Yep.
Tom YORE tried to pass down the middle, blocked back towards the goal by HUNDSTORFER. The key when playing on the opponent's table oftentimes is to do as Tom YORE is doing. Just play a concise, conservative game, put every shot on goal, execute simple passes, don't try to get too fancy, play smart defense. HUNDSTORFER able to brush this one back along the wall. And it can be challenging passing along the wall. Certainly not for HUNDSTORFER, who considers this his home table. But for those of you and us who have tried to play on the Garlando table, it's quite different. That shot rattled towards the goal. How did that not go in? You're able to keep it out and retrieve it.
It's not a true wall pass on the Garlando. It's a different animal completely. It's technically, you could call it a wall pass because it goes along the wall, but it's not executing the same way as you would on any other table.
HUNDSTORFER used the left hand on both goalie rods to make the block. Sends that shot down the middle, blocked by YORE, picked up by HUNDSTORFER, who does pass it along the wall, and will set it up, looking to tie it up. Quick shot rattles into the goal. It's 3-3. Referees for the match, there you saw them, Filip Kubiatovic and Franco Lupacella. And you saw the shot attempt there. He didn't execute it, but caught a break, and he's tied it up at 3 here in game 2. That pass attempt by YORE went towards the goal. HUNDSTORFER keeps it out.
The thing you do get with the Garlando is if you execute a lane pass and you don't catch it, it often does go on goal.
Big possession here for Tom YORE, who sets it up. And tried to stroke it down the middle. This time HUNDSTORFER was there. Tom is going to have to hit a straight at some point. He's not shot one yet in the match. There's a short side pull shot into the goal by HUNDSTORFER. He's up now, 4-3.
Here you're going to see a true Garlando player's goal.
Takes his time and slices it to the short side.
You don't move the ball at all. You simply come behind it and hit it at an angle. It's a true Garlando player's goal.
So Tom YORE now down 4-3. Had the opportunity to take the lead. HUNDSTORFER made the big block, and then the shot. Kevin will set it up once again in that pull shot position. Sends that one up the table. Tom slides back there to keep it out and retrieves it. And because, once again, the size of the goal, the narrowness of the man's foot, it is a very good shooting table from the goalie position as well. Robert Atha, Billy Pappas, players like that are incredible shooting on this table. Tom YORE sends that one up the table, and HUNDSTORFER now has possession on the 5. And now on his 3-rod. For a second game win, Kevin HUNDSTORFER fires it home deep to that near corner. So both players have 1 games on their table. We're all tied up with 1 game apiece as we hit the game number 3.
Yeah, the winner of this will play the winner of Rob Atha and Juliana Bentivoglio, who are playing in the other semi-final. We were told that Yannick Correa had beaten Juliana Bentivoglio, but it would appear that someone had entered that result in wrong. So we were given the incorrect result of that game, and it turns out it's Rob versus Benti.
Wow. 57-year-old Giuliano Bentivoglio is in the semifinals at the World Championships.
Keeping it young. Jim, do you remember we once worked out how many hours Benti had played?
Yeah. It was in the millions, I think, wasn't it?
Yeah. Only Noah has played more table football than Giuliano Bentivoglio.
And he always played doubles.
Yeah.
Kazum, are we ready?
You see Robin Benti playing on the left side of your screen there. And dead center in the middle of your screen, we've got ourselves a match as Tom YORE and Kevin HUNDSTORFER are tied up at a game apiece in this semifinal. 4 players remaining in this men's singles competition.
Ready.
Back to the fireball table we go for game number 3 as Tom YORE puts it into play. YORE won the opening game on the fireball. HUNDSTORFER came back from a 3-2 deficit to claim game number 2 on his home table, the Garlando. As YORE sets it up, fires that pull shot wide of the goal. Tom a little slow getting the hand back there, eventually does, and makes the save.
I'll argue, Jim, this is a must-win for both players. If Tom doesn't win this game, he's not likely to win the Garlando leg, therefore loses. If Kevin doesn't win this game, it's likely to go to a 5th game, and I think Tom will get points on the Garlando, enough to give him victory.
All right, prediction there from Mr. Mason. We'll see how it all plays out. HUNDSTORFER sends that one off that inside wall, then moves into the forward position to grab it on the 5. Tried to pass it back along the wall, stolen away by YORE. See if Tom works in a straight effort here at some point. Tom executes the long, very smooth effort there by YORE. He leads 1-0. Tom took his time, and it looked like might have cut that one back between.
Let's go.
HUNDSTORFER comes right back, passing it through and setting it up. Kevin fires it down the middle. That's not an easy shot to execute. He made it look easy, was able to score down the middle off that snake shot set, as you can see right here.
Better play from Kevin. If you notice there, he took his time on the ball, rocked on it, stayed in it, and shot in a much more relaxed manner. And if he wants to win a fireball leg, he's going to have to do that.
Tied up at 1 point apiece and 1 game apiece in this semifinal in men's singles. Tom YORE on the left, Kevin HUNDSTORFER on the right, Jim Stevenson, Ben Mason, and the Kazum.com crew. Happy to be bringing you all the excitement from Nantes, France in the year 2013. Tom YORE tries to go down the middle. You saw the switch in the block by HUNDSTORFER. This one spins back to YORE on the 5. Quickly passing it along the wall is YORE. Tom will once again set it up in his familiar pull shot position. He doesn't execute there. Not a great effort there from YORE. HUNDSTORFER able to grab it on the 5. And Kevin now with a chance to take the lead here in game 3 on Tom YORE's home table, the fireball. And he does, again exploiting the middle part of the goal. Took this one out just a little bit farther, as we'll see in the replay, and then came back with it down the middle.
And again, you'll see he took his time. Key factor here.
Lead for HUNDSTORFER.
Yep.
I think, in my opinion, the pressure really on Tom YORE, obviously, to win on his home table. If he loses this one, falls behind 2-1, and then heads over to the Garlando table, where HUNDSTORFER is the world champion, Tom YORE would be in big trouble. There's a little pass to Rod to the 5, as HUNDSTORFER was completely in defensive position. Smart play by YORE. Tries to go through the lane, knocked off the back wall, and retrieved by Kevin HUNDSTORFER. HUNDSTORFER tries to bank, doesn't execute, able to hold on to the ball, and he'll call timeout.
A very sensible, very mature timeout there.
Well, we have watched this player, and who is still relatively young, mature over the last 5 or 6 years, from a great junior player to simply a great player.
Yeah. Some players don't make that transition. Some players are great junior players and are good, very good adult players, but some don't always make that transition.
Yeah. In fact, most don't, I would have to say. There is a big step that has to be taken. Kevin HUNDSTORFER still in the process, perhaps, of taking it, but perhaps not. That one off the inside wall, rattles into the goal, and HUNDSTORFER up 3-1. Things have turned around on Tom YORE.
Yeah, you watch this just rattle in the goal here.
He doesn't mean it,
Okay.
but it counts just the same.
One wall, 3 men, in we go.
And Tom YORE is going to use a timeout, take a walk, take a sip, and try to regain that momentum that he acquired earlier on.
So with Giuliano Bentivoglio 1-0 up against Rob Ather. Kevin HUNDSTORFER in King's seat here. That could be our final.
Here we go. Tom YORE putting it back into play. Pass attempt blocked by HUNDSTORFER. Comes back to YORE in the goal area. Tom YORE. Stokes that pull shot down the middle. That is a big effort there from the veteran YORE. Let's get a look at exactly where he put this one. HUNDSTORFER reacts, and YORE goes just behind him. He's now within 1 at 3-2.
The thing is, Tom's been there, done that, and seen it all, hasn't he? So he's not going to be fazed by being 3-2 down on this table. He will know he's got the right game to bring it back and win. So I don't think he's rattled, in all honesty.
Not in the least, no. Tom again, looking at the pull shot, sends it off the back wall. HUNDSTORFER got the left hand back there to try to save it, but inadvertently knocked it into the goal. It's now 3-3. Watch this, as HUNDSTORFER reaches back to make the save and knocks it back into his own goal. YORE, with 2 quick ones, has tied it at 3.
It's an impressive brush reverse bank.
You're going to do a tutorial on that later in the weekend.
I don't think anyone can teach that, Tim.
Pass along the near wall. YORE tried to slam that one instead of catching it. HUNDSTORFER retrieves, steps back there offensively.
You wonder if there was a bit of spin on that ball. That's why Tom was stabbing at it.
And YORE able to watch as HUNDSTORFER grabs it on his 5 and then brushes it down beautifully. HUNDSTORFER for the lead. Kevin Stokes at home to the near side. It's 4-3. Watch this as HUNDSTORFER quickly and deeply hammers that near corner.
Great shot there by Kevin. Really impressive. Nice little timeout as well.
4-3 dans la deuxième manche de cette demi-finale opposant HUNDSTORFER à YORE. On vous rappelle que la première manche a été gagnée par l'Américain 5-2.
Second time out. You've got 1.
Kevin HUNDSTORFER has surged ahead on Tom YORE's table here in game number 3. This ball here could mean life or death for the American YORE, who puts it back into play. Try to pass it down the middle, can't connect. HUNDSTORFER now will move back offensively into the goalie position. Tom YORE staying in the forward position defensively. HUNDSTORFER knocks it off the back wall and retrieves it. A chance to win game 3 right here for Kevin HUNDSTORFER. He rocks back and forth and strokes it home to the far side. HUNDSTORFER steals a game on Tom YORE's home table and will now move to his home table where he's the best in the world with an opportunity to win the match after this strong far side effort.
You've got to say that Kevin has taken one large step towards becoming a great player with that goal. Beating Tom YORE on his home table, getting himself 1 foot in the door of the final. That's a really big step.
Et dans la finale espoir, l'Italien est en train de mener dans la 3e manche.
So Tom YORE,
We ready?
literally with his back against the wall, has to win against the world champion on his home table in order to stay alive. That is a big order.
Yeah.
YORE will put it into play on his 5-row.
Let's go.
Tom YORE's pass attempt picked up by HUNDSTORFER as it went off one back wall, off the other, right to Kevin on the 3-rod. Quick flip over off a man into the goal. It's 1-0. Watch here. Not great execution, but it results in a goal nonetheless.
Go.
Kevin HUNDSTORFER leading 2-1. Pass attempt along the wall, dug out by YORE. Ball rolls to a dead stop. Referee Filip Kubijatovic puts it back into play, and YORE able to stroke home the pole shot. Tom has shot the ball well from that goalie position. Watch here as YORE finds that tight hold down the middle. But again, demonstrating what a great shooting table it is. Big goal there by YORE. HUNDSTORFER pass attempt blocked by Tom.
I think another huge element here is going to be nerve and bottle, as you might want to call it. How will Kevin respond if Tom goes up 2-1 or 3-1? How will Kevin respond? Will he come out fighting, or will he get nervous?
That one sliced on goal. YORE can't retrieve it with a left hand. HUNDSTORFER with a chance to take the lead here. Kevin whips it out to that far corner. It's 2-1. Looking at it again. Watch the smooth effort to the far corner.
Go.
Tom YORE knows he's up against it. He is in deep trouble. Kevin HUNDSTORFER in control in this semifinal match. Just 3 goals away from his first multi-table World Championship final. And YORE might have got a piece of that when it went wide, but unfortunately for Tom, it's rebounded by Kevin HUNDSTORFER, who will call timeout.
Seems to be experiencing some discomfort in that right wrist and right hand. Here we go. Kevin HUNDSTORFER about to put it back into play.
And you can see maybe a little bit of cramping or stiffness with the right hand of HUNDSTORFER. Let's see if it comes into play or not. As HUNDSTORFER sets it up. And finds the hole again, far corner. It's 3-1. Kevin HUNDSTORFER using that snake shot again, exploiting the far side of the goal.
Shoots it so well, doesn't he, Jim?
He is absolutely a deadly player on the Garlando table and has played very well, obviously, on the fireball as well. And Kevin knows. You see him sitting there contemplating the fact that he is 2 goals away from really submitting his name as one of the best all-around players in the world. And he must be under consideration at this point as truly a top 10, if not higher, all-around player, if he's able to do what he is doing here. HUNDSTORFER in possession of the ball in the goal area, up 3-1, up 2-1, completely in control. That one just wide of the goal, then drops in. It is a match point for Kevin HUNDSTORFER.
Just when you don't need a bit of luck, when you're winning anyway, the luck always comes.
Watch this. It is a bit lucky, but when you're aggressive, good things are going to happen, and that's the case here.
Go.
Match point for HUNDSTORFER. Tom YORE. As it taken away by Kevin HUNDSTORFER. HUNDSTORFER fires that one down the table. YORE retrieves it. It only seems a matter of time now before Kevin HUNDSTORFER becomes the first player to reach the final. Of course, an Austrian player reached the singles final last year, Andreas Esterbauer, who did not qualify here this year, which is somewhat of a surprising turn of events.
Well, Andreas is a great multi-table player. He's done well over in the States at tornado events. He's done well on all the tables so far in the World Championship Series.
And did not qualify just by 2 goals to fellow countryman Oliver Willem, who finished 28th. And Esterbauer was 29th, as HUNDSTORFER had a chance to win it right there, taken away by YORE. Well, we could have an Austrian player in the men's singles final once again. And the Austrians also should make an impact in the team event as well, with names like HUNDSTORFER and Esterbauer and others. Remains match point for HUNDSTORFER. That one flies into the air off the table.
Let's go. Ready?
Tom YORE with that gentle pass towards the middle. Tom trying to get something going, trying to find a spark that could potentially ignite a comeback. Kevin HUNDSTORFER leading 4-1 here in the fourth game. And again, that huge effort on the fireball table, and he played really well on that fireball table.
He did, yeah. He really earned that game.
And YORE able to block this one back in the goal. It's now 4-2. Looking at this one again. The shot attempt by HUNDSTORFER and stabbed back in with a 5-rod of Tom YORE.
Go.
Experienced player. He won't give up.
HUNDSTORFER brushes it beautifully through the lane. A chance to win it right here for Kevin, who will step away and call a second and final timeout. He'll step back to the table in 30 seconds with a chance to win this semifinal match and advance to the men's singles final.
Kevin's brush pass on Garlando is, for me, probably one of the hardest and the fastest. To catch the ball and control it at that pace is truly extraordinary.
His fibro is simply unstoppable when he's on. You can't stop it. His brush down is that good. His brush up, as you see there, as Ben Mason so eloquently put it, is fast, it's hard, and extremely effective. And a chance here for Kevin to win it as he sets it up in snake shot position. Kevin HUNDSTORFER fires it home, and HUNDSTORFER defeats Tom YORE in 4 games. Kevin is in the men's singles final here at the 2013 ITSF World Cup and World Championships. He'll face either Robert Atha or Giuliano Bentivoglio, and there's the match winner as HUNDSTORFER reaches his first major multi-table final.
Yeah, fantastic game there, and I think that Kevin showed such experience for such a young player, and I'm really impressed by that.
Et alors dans la finale